Hello people, Tim Lento here. I want to go ahead and do a video lesson today. I'm going to review my trades for the month of October 2017. So, fairly uneventful month. I had just 5 trades. Total came out to about $3,500, so nothing huge, but a decent month. Okay, so let's get into it. First trade was INXP. INXP was a uncompensated promotion by small cap leader, so let's take a look at that. So on October 4th, got an email, and basically they want you to review stock update, something blah blah blah, whatever, it's all nonsense. But the main part is it's in the disclaimer. So when we look at the disclaimer, basically what I like to do is hit Control F and type in compensation, try to see if they got paid to promote it. So right here we see Momentum Stock Alert has not currently been compensated. So it's uncompensated, meaning that no one paid for this stock to be promoted. They probably just sent this out to try to get awareness, try to drive people to their newsletter and get interest for their future paid compensations. So since it's not paid, I like to trade safely, I guess I would say, because they weren't paid for it, so there's no insider selling shares, so it could keep going up. But basically, since it ran up quite a bit, I got interest in it. So it was on this day here, 10/4. This is a daily chart, so each of these candles is one day. It had a run up before that. I'm not really sure why. I didn't really go back and look at the news. But basically, when it spikes from 30 cents up to 50 on no news, really just that newsletter sending that thing out, then I get interested and I think, maybe we'll get a pullback. So as you can see, the next day it did pull back. So I entered on that day at 48 cents and I covered 2 days later at 42 cents, so nothing huge, and it was only 2,500 shares. I took a small position because it was uncompensated, and just in case it ran for another day or two, I could build a position and wait for a pullback. So we got the one big up day, next day went down, and then I covered here on this third day. It actually got a spike in the morning but pulled back in. So I actually covered into the spike. I think I panicked out because it started moving back up. I was like, I'll just take this small gain and get out of this trade. It wasn't really something I was really interested in because it's uncompensated again. So nothing huge, just 150 bucks. Next trade was DRIO. I entered on 10/18 at $3. This stock spiked up from 180 because they just announced that they had, an app, which to me isn't really big news. Everyone has apps. You can make an app, you can make an app on anything these days, and it's not really huge news in my opinion. So when it spiked from closed the previous day at 180 here, and then it spiked all the way to 360, I thought that was ridiculous. So again, I took the short at $3 was my average. My average is still down here. I think I might have waited for it to come down, or I averaged in. Again, I exactly remember. But let's take a look at that news. So it was, let's see, 10/18. So here's the news on 10/18. So DRIO Health gained CE mark for iPhone 7, iPhone 8. So they're just launching an app. They're launching an app to smartphones for this particular thing. That doesn't mean anyone's ever going to use it, It's like, to me, it's not really exciting news. So for it to spike from 180 all the way to 360, again, I thought that was kind of ridiculous. So I initiated the short position. And then I covered actually the same day at 280. So it was just a day trade. They've pulled all the way back to, what did I just say? 280. I got in at 3 and covered at 280, and it closed the day at 220. So boy, I got out really early on that. But again, you know, a few $100s, not a bad day. Here's the day it ran all the way up, pulled all the way back down. So I probably covered into this first. It started to base here a little bit, and then later in the day it dropped off more. So I was out too early, but that's fine. Still made what, 500 I think it was. Yeah, 565 on that trade. And then if you look at the chart now, I mean it dropped even way more. So now it's down to 160. So if I would have held for a few days, then would have had a nice gain. But that's okay. Let's see what we got next. PCFP. PCFP was a landing page promotion. Unfortunately, I can't pull it up. They already took the landing page down, and apparently they're making phone calls on it. I was only able to get in 207 shares. That's all I could borrow from my broker, and I use Interactive Brokers to trade. This software is Thinkorswim. I just use this software to monitor, you know, the charts and the price action, and then I make my trades at Interactive Brokers. So PCFP was a paid promotion, and it was a slow mover, walked all the way up to 150, and now as you can see it dropped all the way back down to 70 cents. But let's see, at 144, I got in at 10:20, 144, and I covered on the 23rd. So I got a nice drop. It went from 144 to 75, but unfortunately, like I said, since I could only get 207 shares borrowed, you know, I only got $143. Now, obviously, I wanted way more shares than 200, but you know, sometimes you just can't get the borrows, and that's just part of being a short seller. You're not always going to get as many shares as you'd like. So let's look at 1020. 1020, so I pretty much shorted the day before it dropped. You know, that's when I got my short started, and then the next day all the way down to a low of 61 cents, then it bounced back up to 106. So good cover. I covered down here in the 70s. Good trade. Unfortunately, like I said, only 200 shares. Next trade up was RTNB. This is a bankrupt stock, so thank you to Michael Good for alerting this to me in the chat room. I'm a member of Timothy Sykes' chat room, and I'm also a moderator there, so if you're interested in learning from Timothy Sykes or participating in the chat room, we're in there every day, making calls and trying to figure out stocks. So let's see, RTNB. It was bankrupt. Okay, this company is worthless. Like, the CEO quit. They sold off all their assets. It should be at zero. How it's still trading, I don't know, but whatever. Stocks trade for no reason. They had a misleading PR, so the stock bounced. They said like they made some kind of deal, but really they were just selling their assets. So let's see, 929 at 134 is when it entered. So 929 is this day. So it gapped up from 140s to $2. So I started shorting it. Let's see if I can find that news. 929. It actually got halted because they released the news and it was sketchy. So yeah, they said LLC acquired by Tracker Capital. Basically what they did was they just sold a bunch of their assets, and then they say they get acquired, which that's kind of shady of them to say it that way. So it was kind of like a misleading PR. New ownership, so they got money to eliminate their debt. Yeah, but they sold like everything that they had, so now they just don't have a business, which is great. And that's pretty much all they said. Then it even got halted the same day. NASDAQ halted it because they wanted additional information, because that was a sketchy PR that they put out. So 929, and then it reopened a few days later. So it got halted on 929 and reopened on 10/4. Now I should have really covered down in here, but I didn't. I thought it was going to drop further, so I held, and I actually think I added some. And I finally covered on 10/26, so I covered basically, this was basically a whole month. But $1,800 in profit. That was my best trade for that month. So let me see, where did I cover? Come on. 1026. So 1026 is right on this day. So it was a slow, every day it faded, and now it's down here. Again, probably worthless company, no assets, sold everything, CEO quit, so it probably will eventually go to zero. It's just hanging around now. And finally, BSGM. I actually covered the rest of this on 11/3. Today is November 5th, 2017. Most of it I covered before the end of October, so that's why I'm including this one. I covered most of it here, 1026 at 145, and then I covered 4,600 shares on that date, and then I covered the last 400 on the 3rd of November at 150. So let's take a look at that one, BSGM. Alright, so this was a promotion by the same guys, I think. Yeah, small cap leader. They were only paid like 10 grand though, so nothing huge. Let me see if I can pull that one up. Okay, so 1019 was when they first came out with it. Looks like they probably alerted it the night before. Yeah, 6:23 p.m. BSGM. So yeah, they go blah blah blah, all this nonsense. Yeah, it's a great company. It's awesome. Great technical indicator as well. Like it's gonna go up. 5 key reasons. And then again, the main thing we want to look for is the compensation, right? So we go down here into the disclaimer. Momentum, stock alerts got compensated 5 grand. They were previously paid 32,000, same company. Let's see a small cap leader. I think these guys are like related. They just have multiple websites. Yeah, see, they got compensated 10,000 by TSX Ventures. So basically what happens is TSX Ventures, whoever that is, or the people behind it or whatever, they pay these newsletters the money so that they can get rid of shares that they own. That's why they're compensating these newsletters, basically. So let's see, I got it on 1019. So this was the first day. It closed here at 145. It gapped up and opened at 149 due to the promotion and shot up to 175. So my entry, or my average, was 163, 5,000 shares. I think I was scaling into this. So my average was right around here. Obviously not the top, but you know, decent short. And then the next 2 days it backed off. I actually covered most of my shares on 1026 when it had this big long drop on the candlestick. So if you don't know how to read a candlestick, basically the open on this candle, since it's a red candle, or in this case black, the open would be up here and it closed at the bottom of the black portion, since it's black. If it's white, the open would be here and then the close would be here. So, and then the wicks mean that's how high it went. So this day it went up to 174, and this day it went as low as 145 during the day, but the open and the close is the body of the candle. So I was able to cover most of it at 145 on this day, and then I was still held 400 shares until, I think, was it the second or third? Till the 3rd. So the 3rd was Friday. Again, if you're interested in learning how to trade or participating in the chat room, you can check out timothycycles.com. I'll post a link to the service in the description of this video. Again, shout out to daytrading.buzz. They help me out with a lot of the information behind the promotions and things like that. I have their newsletter coming daily, so another one that helps me out. So I hope you like this video. Appreciate it. If you want to subscribe, click subscribe. If you want to leave a comment, if you want some other type of video, let me know. Send me a message. Thanks for watching.